Alright, so in this video I'm going to be doing the mock test 2 quiz and basically explaining the answers while I do it. So let's continue. So the first question states, if total utility is rising, then marginal utility must be. Now, you must understand how they're both correlated, right? Marginal utility and total utility. Now, if I show you on a drawing, let's say your marginal utility is 2, then it's like, let's say 3, then it's 1. Yeah, this is your marginal utility column, right? Now, what will be your total marginal utility column? Your total marginal utility column will add up all the previous marginal utilities. So, obviously the first row will be 2, but the second row, what number you're going to put over here is 2 plus 3, which is 5. The next one is 2 plus 3 plus 1, or you can just say 5 plus 1, same thing, that's 6. So, going back to the question, what is the question? If total utility is rising, then what will the marginal utility be? So, if you look at my diagram, all this is positive, and it's making this rise. So, the answer for that will definitely be positive, right? So, let's go and put positive. Next. So the second question, they give the quantity of chips and they give the total utility it gives you. Now, as soon as I see this, it must come to my head that the marginal utility column is missing. So I may need to draw it. Now in the exam, if you do this, my suggestion is to draw it. To draw the marginal utility column, it's easy. I told you it's similar like how I did the first question. You put 0 here. You put 52 here. Then the number which goes here, you'll see what's 80 minus 52. That is 28. Put 28 here. What is 96 minus 80? That is 16. So you put 16 here, you put 4 here, and you put 0 here. So that's how you'll calculate the utility. Now, what will be the answer over here? So, if you're looking at the answers, let's look at the first one. Now, SIPO will maximize utility by consuming 5 packets of knickknacks per week. So 5 packets of knickknacks. So we have to draw this thing. So let me draw it because it won't make sense now. Okay, so what I went and I just copied down this table here so I can show you how I do the utility column. So as I said, right, to do this utility column, when it's 0 and 0, you just put 0 over here, right? Now, you must ask yourself, how did you go from 0 to 52? You added 52, right? How did you go from 52 to 80? That is 28. How did I go from 80 to 96? 16. The 96 to 100, that is 4. And 100 to 100, that is 0, okay? So, what they're asking now, so let's see, okay. I'm just checking something. Okay, so if I have to analyze this, what do you see? Well, it increases. This is the highest point, and then it decreases. So the maximum utility was actually my first, my first chips. So over here, SIPO will maximize utility by consuming more than 5 packets of knickknacks per week. No, not more than 5 packets of knickknacks per week, right? Also, you can say it in both ways. You can also say over here, the utility get maximized on the 4th one. But I think this is the most accurate answer because the utility get basically the maximum utility, the maximum happiness is over here on the first one, right? So the answer is wrong. Now, SIPO will experience diminishing marginal utility from knickknacks 100%. Diminishing. First it goes up 0 to 52, this is the highest, but then it goes down. All this over here means is diminishing marginal utility. So that's correct. He experiences diminishing. The marginal utility of the 4th packet of knickknacks is 4. MU is 4. Now this is TU, so we don't look at that. MU, U. After, of the 4th. Yeah, 4th package, the utility is 4. That's correct. Now SIPO gets less satisfaction from the 4th packet than from the third packet. That is true. From the fourth packet, he gets 4 utils. To the third packet, he gets 16. So 4 is getting less than the previous one. And you know, I mean, you don't even have to draw this to know that, right? Anything you do, you get less satisfaction when you do the thing again. So the answer is 2i, 3i, and iv. So 2i, 3i, and iv. Yeah, that's correct, right? Yeah, correct. Okay. So now Eric ate 5 magvenia. Yesterday he enjoyed the first one. He ate the most each. Okay, so basically the thing here, he ate this thing. After he ate the first one, he ate the second one, but he got less happiness. He ate another one, he got less happiness. He keeps on eating, but he's getting less happiness. So to do this, you have to, now you know there's going to be diminishing marginal utility, right? Because it's obviously going to be decreasing. So the marginal utility of magvenia is positive but decreasing. The first one, right? It makes sense, right? Because the marginal utility is positive but it's decreasing. We can even use the other example before, right? If you look at the total utility, although its total utility is increasing, this is positive but it's decreasing. Sylvia is decreasing, but this is increasing. So going back, the marginal utility is positive but decreasing. Okay, not total utility, just utility. So yes, 100%. So you see how it's positive but it's decreasing? Yeah, because think about it. The first, whatever he ate, when he ate the second one, he got less of the utility than the first one. Third one, he got less. Fourth one, he got less. So it's positive. And it's decreasing. Yes, that's 100% correct. So marginal utility of magvenia positive but decreasing, 100% correct. The next one. The price of chops is 60 Rand per kilo and the price of beans is 20 Rand per kilo. Dano currently receives a marginal utility of 180 consuming chops and 60 from consuming beans. Okay. Now, when you want to choose between two products, what a person will choose, and they give you the price of it, and they give you the utility. There's only one way to find that out. You cannot say that because Dando gets 180 utils, he'll pick the 180 instead of 160. You can't. If you look at my previous video, I told you whenever you come to this situation, you do something called the marginal utility per rand. Okay? So to work with the marginal utility per rand for chops, it is the marginal utility over the cost of the chops. So it's 180 divided by 60. That is 3. So keep that in mind. For chops, the marginal utility per rand is 3. Now for beans, it's 20 rand and 60. So you say 60 divided by 20. That is 3. So because they're both equal in marginal utility per rand, then that means he should not change her consumption, right? Not change. At the end of the day, she's getting satisfaction from both equally. She's not getting more satisfaction from beans than chops. You know what I'm saying? It's both equal, so you're getting happy from both things. She's not getting sad. So do not change her consumption. Why change your consumption? Now, okay, so diagram shows the demand curve. Okay, so you need to calculate the surplus. Now, to calculate the surplus, what you need to understand is first find the price. If the price is 14 Rand, as soon as they mention the price, you need to put 14 Rand and make a line of them. As soon as you make that line, to find the consumer surplus, you ask yourself what is the area below the demand curve until it hits the line. So below the demand curve is all over here. See this triangle. So we need to calculate the area of that triangle. Remember, they tell you the consumer surplus, so you need to work at the area. Now you might be thinking how to work at the area of this triangle. Half base times height, that's what you need to use. So if on the calculator you say half of the base, so half times the base, what's the base? The base is 30. If you think about it, the length of this to this is 30, so this will be 30. And the height will be 20 minus 14, it'll be 6, right? So half of 30, so half times 30 times 16, times 6. Let's see what that gives you. That should give you 90. So the answer is 90, right? So that's the answer. Okay, so a top international footballer is likely to earn more than a nurse. Utility theory would explain this is so because. Okay, so with this one, all you need to know is this. You just have to read it. So even though the total utility from the nurse is much higher than that of a football player, the marginal utility of top football player is higher than that of a nurse. So since without actually reading the other ones, I can say that that's correct. Because think about it, right? If you're a nurse, your total utility, so total utility is different. Now, if I look at the previous example, the total utility, it's this number over here. So if you add up all these happinesses, whatever number you get, that's the total utility. No. Actually, yeah. And if you actually add all that up, you'll actually get 100. Yeah, it's the same as total utility, the last figure, 100, yeah. So remember, if you're a nurse, you'll get a lot of satisfaction because you're helping people. So your total utility will be very, very high. But her marginal utility won't be that high. Because when she does it again, according to the law of diminishing marginal utility, she'll get less of a happiness of it, less than a happiness, okay? As a nurse, she'll get tired. It's a job, 9 to 5 job. But for a soccer player, every time he goes to a match and does it, because the match gives him a lot of happiness and he does it for a job, something that he likes, he gets a higher utility, marginal utility. So he gets a higher happiness from it. So it makes total sense, right? If you're a nurse, your total utility will be high because you're helping people. So all this happiness are put together. Or you can see it this way, right? If you're a nurse, you're going to be working for a very long time. So let's say for 40, 50 years. I don't know, 40 years, yeah, 40 years. And if you add all those utilities up, although they're lower, it'll add up to a big amount. But if soccer players, they only work for, 8 years, 10 years. So if you add all those utils, although it's higher, the utils, the total won't be that high. So like, the nurses will be higher. So that's the answer. So the next one, economists normally, I can't pronounce this word, but I don't care really. At this point, I need to make a pronouncing channel here. Economists, yes sir. Economists normally assume that the goal of the firm. So what is the goal of a business? This also. But what's the best one? It's maximize profit. Because all this over here fits in maximize profit. Because if you sell as much product as possible, see, the goal of the firm is to maximize profit. Full stop. It's not to do all this. Because sell as much of the product as possible, I can open up a business and sell all my products for 1 rand. That's not the goal for a firm, to sell more products. No. Set the price of the product as high as possible. No. You think businesses will go there and sell a milk for 1 million rand? No. But to maximize profit, yes. So it's only 3I. Yeah. Only 3I. Now the next one, George gives up his job. George gives up his job to start a small business. He takes a loan. Okay, he takes a loan to buy equipment. His expenses are rental, data charges, interest alone. What are these are correct? So if you look at it, right? Okay, so first one, for an economic perspective, we should not consider George's salary. False. When economists look at profit, they look at everything. So they say sales, which is your revenue, minus all cost. So whether it's implicit or explicit cost. So this is false. To work out whether George is making a profit, an economist. So to work out an economist works out profit by saying the revenue minus the total cost, which is both the explicit and implicit cost. By the way, Explicit costs are all costs on the day-to-day basis, like how we get like normal things.